Hello everyone, Rockrufff here with another video, and this is gonna be about my Erosion minion build, and this is the medium budget version. Now there is a couple of things that I do want to say before I dive into this. So one of the things is I won't be showing my trees inside of the game. There is a website for it right now, so you can put a build together with trees and skills and everything, and I will of course share that link with you guys and I will show it in a bit. Another thing I want to mention is, well, this might not be a medium budget right now because we are pretty far into the season. So the prices, of course, they have changed. But I do believe that this will be a medium budget at the start of each season. So I purposely did not put in certain gear for that reason. Let's do a DPS check on the training dummy on level 85. And as you can see, it can reach 99 million. So I'm going to do another DPS check for you guys. And the reason to that is because I'm currently using Go for Broke. Now, Go for Broke allows minions to lose 60% of current life when gaining Overload. And Overload grants 365 critical strike rating. Now, the only issue to this is that your minions won't always have 100% uptime of Overload, which means that during the time that they don't have Overload, which is most of the time literally 1 second, so in that 1 second, they can die, which can be bad. But of course, it is up to you to pick Go for Broke. So originally I would want to release the medium budget with Rest and Ready, since it gives a plus 40% overload duration. But it also gives minus 50% additional minion attack and cast speed when minions are without overload. But of course that's not going to be an issue, because if you have 100% uptime of overload, then they will keep on getting this 35% attack and cast speed. So let's do a DPS check with Rest and Ready, which will of course be a bit less since they won't be getting the critical strike rating that comes from Go for Broke. So, as it was said, as long as they have Overload, they will have this same attack speed. So make sure that every time this bar goes up and it's ready, you hit a summon skill and your Overload will be back up again. So as you can see, the damage is a bit lower. But as I said, it's up to you if you want to pick Rest and Ready or Go for Broke. Anyway, let's show you, I'm going to show you guys what it's like to not have Overload and have their attack speed. So this is basically what their attack speed looks like when they don't have Overload, and when they do have Overload, they shoot a whole lot faster. So make sure you have this up anytime you can with Rest and Ready. The same goes for Go for Broke. Of course, you always would want to proc Overload as soon as it's ready, so you can get the best DPS out of your minions. So let's take a look at my skills. Now, of course, we are using Summon Spider Tank, and as supports we are using Preservation, Multi-Strike, Bloodthirsty Slaughter, Mechanical Modification, and Critical Strike Damage Increase. Now for our second Summon Spider Tank skill, we are using the exact same supports. Now going over to our Corruption, we are using Abysmal Hatred, Extended Duration. For Dark Gate, we are using Extended Duration and Cooldown Reduction. Now at last, we are using the Machine Army with Mass Effect and Mania. Now, going over to our auras, and passives. So I'm using auto defense with Edges of Fire. Beside that, we are using Rejuvenation. Now I'm using Summon Thunder Spirit with Mark, Elemental Duo, Critical Strike Damage Increase, and Bloodthirsty Slaughter. Now for auras, we are using Precise auras. Now of course, do keep in mind you don't need these auras if you cannot afford those or if you cannot drop them. You can also use the normal version, for example, Precise Projectiles, Weapon Amplification, and Erosion Amplification. But currently I'm using Precise Projectiles, Precise Weapon Amplification, and Precise Erosion Enhancement. So as I said before, I'm using a website to put builds together, and this is the website. It's called Torchlight Infinite Helper, and I mainly use this so I won't have to change my skills all the time when I make a video. So instead I can show you guys in here what to use. So we are of course using the God of Machines with Orders and Mighty Guard, and these are all of the talents that we're going to pick. We are also using God of Machines, Source, and Warhorn, and these are all of the talents we're going to use in here. Now at last we're using, this is not God of Machines, this is called Warlock, by the way. I don't know why the name is the same, but we're using Merciless and Off the Beaten Track, and these are all of the talents that we're going to use. Of course, I will leave a link in the description to this page. You will also be able to see the gear, the hero trades, and also all of the skills that I'm currently using. I think this is a very useful thing to do, and I will be doing this for the next builds that I'll be creating as well. So it's easier for you guys to, look and copy everything. Now going over to the hero trait. Now we are using at level 15 Order Calling, level 32 All In, level 50 Veteran, level 62 we're picking Last Stand, and at level 80, of course that's your own preference if you want to go Rest and Ready or go for Broke, but for this medium budget I'd rather go for Rest and Ready for the overload duration. So right now I'm going to skip the pact tree, mainly because it shouldn't matter what pact spirits you're using. It should be totally up to you which pact spirits you want to use. Of course, I'm going to be showing you guys which ones are for minions, which is the ones with the summon tag. So if you have any of these pact spirits, then you should definitely go ahead and use them, since they give minion nodes, as you can see, max life, minion damage, and minion attack and cast speed. So also, if you have like drop monsters or some for survivals, put them to use however you like and however you see fit. So we have arrived at my gear. Now I'm going to keep on saying this, you don't have to get the exact same gear as I do. And the reason why I keep on saying this is because some of you prefer having life on the gear instead of energy shield. So, those are one of the reasons why you should, craft your own gear the way you want. Anyway, I also have some replacement gear over here and some replacement bases, since I'm using some old gear of mine, and they're not on the right bases. So I'm going to be of course showing you a couple of things that you should craft on instead, and also some replacement gear, because I do believe that the prices will change. And another thing I believe is that at the start of the season some of this gear will be very expensive. So I do think that maybe some of these might be a little cheaper than what I have right now, or maybe the other way around even. But of course, that's what I'm thinking. It might not be like that, but we'll see. Also, again, I keep on saying this, the only stats you want to be looking for mainly is resistances and life. So let's go take a look at my helmet. Now my helmet has critical strike rating, which does not do anything, physical damage, which also does not do anything, and then minion max life, some armor, resistances, and cast speed. Now a replacement base to craft on is the imperishable mitre, which gives minion critical strike rating. For the chest, I'm using the Divine Arbiter's Defense, which gives armor and max life as its base stats, minion damage, max life, critical strike rating does not do anything, and some resistances. For the amulet, I am having this amulet mainly for the minion skill level. It also has some mana regeneration, life, and resistances. Now a replacement base for this is the Ab amulet that gives a 10% to minion attack and cast speed. Of course, there's another amulet which is called the Flow amulet, which gives minion damage, but minion attack and cast speed should be better than minion damage. For the gloves, I'm using the Elder Sage long gloves, which gives me energy shield, as I said before. If you rather have armor or life, you should definitely go ahead and craft that. So this glove gives me cold resistance as its base, and then I also crafted resistances. For my boots, I have crafted these boots on a video before, so I will of course leave a link in the description of that video so you can see how I crafted these boots. Then again, if you rather have armor, you should grab a armor base and craft on it. These boots give me cold resistance, life, regenerate life per second while moving, max life, regenerate life per second, movement speed, and even more movement speed when not hit recently, and some more cold resistance. For the belt, I'm using Winter of Erosion. Now for my rings, I'm using Decayed Mind. Now the main stat you want to be looking at is sealed mana, because I did hear from some of you that you were not able to use all of the auras that I was using. And I think it's due to the amount of minus sealed mana that you have. And that might be coming from your ring, I'm not sure. But you get plenty of minus sealed mana from your tree as well. So pay attention that if you are not able to use all of your auras, pay attention to what you might be missing. So well, you don't need this corrosion, by the way. So try and get Decayed Mind. You don't need it to be corroded or anything. But yeah, 2 Decayed Mind rings. So for my weapon, I have a Raid Wand. This gives spell damage, but of course, this is not the one that you want to go with. The one that you do want to go with is the Bard's one, which gives minion damage. So craft on this. This is just an example for you guys. So mainly what you would want is minion skill level, minion damage, minion movement speed, attack speed, and cast speed, cooldown recovery, and if you can craft maybe aura effect, or even a chance for minions to deal double damage. For the shield, I am using Steel Consecration, which is an excellent minion shield. It does give minus 60% max life, but it gives a lot of damage. Now, a replacement shield is the Last Stand. Now, Last Stand, it mainly is for defenses, for increased gear armor, life. It gives a bit of energy shield, attack block chance, and it gives a block ratio per 5% life lost. Now, another belt that you can use instead of the Winter of Erosion, which might be cheaper, could be the Infinity, and mainly you want to be looking for Twisted Belief, which gives +3 Erosion skill level and -3 Elemental skill level. The other stats, it shouldn't really matter as long as you can get one with Twisted Belief. If you're looking for other stats on it as well, there is minion damage and defense. So anything that gives you defenses or, minion mods. So at last we have a replacement weapon, which is the Traveler's Prayer. Now I do have to say that it does a bit less damage compared to the Steel Consecration and this wand. Traveler's Prayer is mainly for aura stacking. So you basically do increased damage for you and your nearby minions for each activated aura. So as long as you have a bunch of aura, your minions will do increased damage. And also it comes with aura skill level and aura effect, and self aura effect will be less, which means that if you are using defense aura, or life regeneration aura, it will give a less effect. A couple of weeks ago, I created a minion crafting guide, and also I made a video about it, which will be in the description, like I said, because I was crafting the same boots that I'm using right now in this video. So like I said, I will leave a link into the description of the video, and I will also leave a link into the description of this crafting guide. So for crafting your wand, you want to be, of course, using the medium budget. Oh, this is amulet, sorry. Weapon. So medium budget weapon, you want to be crafting the wand. And also, if you want to craft other gear, amulet, shield, everything is in here, you go for the medium budget as well. Now let's take a look at my info page. Now, as you can see, I'm not capped, but as I said, I'm using some of my old gear, which means that not everything fits right with whatever I am currently using. So yeah, do try and cap all of your elemental resistances, and then if you can and you have some slots open to craft erosion resistance, then try and cap your erosion resistance afterwards as well. So we have around 20,000 survival, around 2,000 life. Well, if you take off the shield, you will have a bit more life because of the shield. We are having minus 60% life, so keep that in mind. Now here are some of my other stats. Going on to the next page over here, resistance. My survival, we have 23,000 armor, which is not too bad. Then there is attack block chance. Now with Aegis of Fire, your attack block chance should be a bit higher when Aegis of Fire is on. Over here we got my life stats. And going on to the next page, this is my movement speed modifier. Drop locations. So for the drop locations on the precise auras, any of these locations are fine. So Glacial Abyss, Blistering Lava, Steel Forge, Thunder Waste, and Voidlands all can drop the precise auras from the Watchers in Time Arc 6 or 7. So for example, let's take a look at this Watcher. As you can see, the precise aura rewards are all the same. Now let's take Voidlands and take a look here. You see it can drop the same precise auras. So it doesn't matter as long as you're in Time Arc 6 or 7. Now for the Winter of Origin belt, you can drop it from the Traveler. Over here, Winter of Origin. So the Decayed Mind Rings, those drop in Trial God of Machines. If you go over to the help page, you can also see that. If you go scroll down all the way, God of Machines over here. As you can see, the mode has a chance to drop exclusive Dark Gold, and one of these is the Decayed Mind. The Infinity Belt has a chance to drop from the Traveler. The only issue with the Infinity Belt is that everything is random. So you can possibly drop the Twisted Belief Belt or not. I think it's a better way to look for it on the market, since everything is of course random. Like there are so many combinations that you can get for Infinity Belt, so the chances that you'll get Twisted Belief should be very low. For the drop locations on the Traveler Sprayer, Last Stand, and Steel Consecration, these are global drops, which means they can drop anywhere. Of course, I got this from the TLIDB website. I will leave a link in the description for you guys. Now, it has a lot of useful things. As you can see, it shows me the drop locations. I'm currently using it for the drop locations for this video. And also, you know, it says that you can get it from the Euros Legacy and Six Gods Boon. Well, these fragments, you know, they give like a random weapon. So it can be the Traveler's Prayer, but it also can be something else, for example. And that also works for the Last Stand and the Steel Consecration Shield if it comes with fragments. Because I don't believe that there is a specific fragment that gives you a guaranteed one. No. Yeah, so all of these are pretty much the same. You can get a random item from these fragments, which can be the steel consecration. So there's a chance for you to get it like that, and there's a chance for you to drop it as a global drop. I'm going to do a map for you guys to show you guys what it's like to use this build on medium budget, and we're going to do a tier 8, or at least the space-time turbulence, which is known as tier 8. So yeah, let's do a map. Okay, so one thing I do want to mention is if you're mapping, of course you can get rid of your corruption. This is my mapping method. For bossing, you of course want to be using corruption. And for mapping, you can use either Shadow Dash or Blurry Steps. If you're not using Blurry Steps, then I would suggest you to get rid of the Talent Tree node, which is this one over here, which gives movement speed while blur is active. So if you're not using Blurry Steps, then you can go ahead and remove this and use it somewhere else. Yeah, I'm going for Blurry Steps. So let's go ahead and do this map. I do have to say that this is not my favorite map. I prefer having open area maps instead of walls everywhere. Oh nice, a flame elementium. Let me see, I'm not sure where the boss is in this map, so we're just gonna have to walk around a bit. Oh nice, we got a Rastal's Ember. Those are pretty rare. Okay, the boss should be up ahead. Alright, there we go. And try not to get hit. And there we go, that was pretty much the map. And oh, got some more flame elementium, that's pretty nice. So we have arrived at the end of this video. I hope you guys will enjoy the medium budget version of my build. Also, I'm currently working on the high budget version of the build, and I'm still crafting a couple of things, so it's not finished yet. But whenever I'm done with making the high budget, I will of course show you guys in another video. And also, I am thinking of creating a even higher budget, which is also known as min-maxing or God tier, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to obtain all of those items for the even higher budget, like the min-max version, right? So I might not be able to do that, but I can always put it in a document for you guys to show you guys what you want to be looking for that budget as well. Anyway, if you guys have any questions about the build itself, please comment down below. And I also stream on Twitch if you want to ask me there or just hang out. I will leave a link in the description of my Twitch channel as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.